Welcome to Let's Learn Jurassic World Evolution. All right, welcome. This is Attica, and welcome to another Jurassic World Evolution video. In this one, we're going to talk about a 5-star Pena, and I thought we're going to just tour the island as it's finished, but I wanted to go back and show you exactly how it looks at the start and talk about some things that you have to plan for in order to get your island done. So first of all, we can see just from an overhead, we've got some open space here sort of in the middle of the island. We've got space down here where Fossil Center and Expedition Center have already been built. We have one small power station right up here near the arrival point. And we go all the way down the other end, and we've got some decent space out here. There's one paddock right here and a Hammond Creation Lab. That's it. And you can see the main things here, of course, are the space. Not much space there, not much space there, and no space anywhere else. Just narrow little strips and a little bit of place down here to put some buildings. So, the other thing to notice is this paddock right here. I'm big on high visibility. You don't really have to have high visibility to get your 5 stars, but I like to have high visibility. If I'm going to build a park for dinosaurs watching, people are going to be able to see the dinosaurs. So first thing you notice is this viewing gallery is pathetic. I mean, look what it sees. It sees nothing. It sees this hill, and it sees this little piece of the paddock right here where the animals may never go or seldom go. So I really don't, this whole design is just bad. Now, we could use this, we could put herbivores in here or something and kind of use this or extend it out a little and perhaps get a bigger dinosaur in there, a big carnivore, but I didn't like it. So basically what I decided to do is I deleted all of this, like even the creation lab. I deleted the gallery, the lab, the bottom part of this fencing down here, and changed it, and I'll show you how I redid it to something that I thought used the space a little better. But anyway, here's what you have. Arrival point, small station, comes down to a decent empty space here with some room, but a very odd shape. Little area over here for some of our maintenance and administrative buildings, if you will, and then this poorly designed paddock down here. So let's go now and take a look at how I ended up tackling this. All right, so the very first thing I did basically was, remember this was a small power station. I deleted it right away, replaced it with a medium power station. Remember, our space is our big issue here. So put in a medium power station right here, right off the bat, so that we could take, get as much power as we could out of that space. Then went all the way back to this end and just did a complete redesign. It basically took out that viewing gallery that was there, took out the Hammond Creation Lab, took out a bunch of fencing right through here, and then redesigned it using the principles that we've used for high visibility. Tower, gallery, tower. Turned everything this way. Put the Hammond Creation Lab up here because you have some decent space up here. Could have even maybe crammed it all the way up, but I didn't push it too hard. Put it up here close to this one. Basically built this paddock first. Built this paddock out of what was already existing. You see that curve was already in there, and I just kind of cut it off like that and built this paddock. Put my lab in close to that, and then set it up eventually as a 3-gate system. Now the first thing I did was this one. Put a couple of Metriacanthosaurs in there. Would have gone with a T-Rex, but I couldn't afford it with all the changes I made. So a couple of Metriacanthosaurs to get us started, and then added on and added this section down here, and actually planned out this whole thing up front. So I had this done, and I had the viewing galleries done down here with the connection up, and then kind of closed that off and built the little runway down here so that we could start building down here. And I'll talk about what's the keys to getting your dinosaur rating in just a minute. But the 2 Metriacanthosaurs got our revenue started, then started putting in dinosaurs down here, and this really is kind of the key to the rating. I'll go ahead and talk about it. One is high-rated dinosaurs. Two is a lot of various herbivores, which then get rid of your variety penalty. So a little old Gallimimus or a Struthiomimus may not seem like much, but and the Archeo, that's a hard one. Archie. Sorry, I can't say that one. All right, so we got Archie, we've got Struthi, we've got Galley. They individually, I mean, this one's all decked out and it's given us 12 whole points, but it's very important because it gives us another species in here. So if you put a bunch of species in here mixed with those, you start losing your variety penalty, and now the value of these Metriacanthosaurs, which are at 188 right there, that you get the full value because you get the variety. So this little pen of herbivores is key to getting the value out of this out of our stars, so to speak. So built that up. Then the very next thing to do is get the transportation going, because this is a long island. It's a remember our transportation. Remember our transportation video. The transportation rating is from this arrival point. Here, let's look at the view. From this arrival point to the destinations. You can see the destinations are the viewing galleries. It's none of the other stuff. It's not the power stations or ranger stations or food or drink or anything. It's the viewing towers, galleries, visitor centers if we had any. We don't. And hotels. That's what you have to get your rating for, and you have to get it for your the way to do it, of course, is to use your monorail. So built in monorail, took out the pathing here, we don't need it, which then opened up a little space right there, which came in handy later. Took out the pathing, ran a monorail down. I did not do this one at the beginning, but I did do this one. And notice I brought it in and looped it around because I wanted it to give us the visibility, the nice little dino tour of our paddocks. Brought it around like so, and then set it up. And that way, transportation immediately goes from 0% to 100%. Because now, at this stage, all that was built was this stuff right over here, and of course our arrival point. So now you can come down quickly, get off here, and walk right over to the galleries. Super easy. Then started putting in the big four. Fast food, gift shop, sorry. Drew a blank there for a second. Fast food, gift shop, clothing, and restaurant. And by having those in there, then we end up, here, let me show you. You end up with ratings like this. You end up with 98, 100, 100, 100, 99. Okay, and actually I lied. Transportation is 99, not 100. And the reason being because I've got this guy right out here, which later on, by the way, I end up fixing to get it back to 100. There's a little bit of a walk from here around to here. That's a little longer than it needs to be. So you get hundreds and 99s.
By completing that contract, you've made our power supply more reliable and secure.
All right, thank you, George. All right, so then once we got this one going, then I moved up here and said, okay, I've got some open space here, and I could have, just used this lab to create everything.
I'm doing what I can to help you. Do what you can to help the security division.
And move everything up here by helicopter, but I decided I was lazy and I wanted it easy. So I took this space, and remember we've got a nice open space. Could have even gone further up in here, but this little narrow area didn't seem like it was going to be very useful. In fact, one thing you could do is move this up higher. Make sure you have enough room for your pathing, and then put in maybe a this one could have gone up here with a pathway around to maybe a couple of paddocks down here. But this worked out great the way it was. So we've got two paddocks down here, a good sized one with the intent of putting in a larger carnivore and a smaller one, and then my little one of my favorites, the tank paddock, where you put in, here's the other key, these guys here, Crichtonsaur, Nodosaurus, and Kylosaurus. These guys are just great because they give you good ratings. I mean, this Crichtonsaur is 85, So they give you anywhere from 80 to 100, 110 rating on these dinosaurs, and every one of them is a new species. So you're getting rid of that variety penalty. So now you would, between that and this guy here, you get rid of all your variety penalties, and now you can just make these big carnivores and the small carnivores to your heart's content, which have the very high ratings. So now we've got a value up here, and we used our concept again of these alternating views. Tower, gallery, and basically modified slightly because of the shape of this total area. Ran the straight line and then put all of our big four right behind it. I had a task at one point to build an arcade, so there's an arcade right here, but it wouldn't be 100% necessary to get these ratings. But at any rate, you've got the big four lined up right behind these guys. We've got all that set up, and now you have an area where you can conceivably put in large dinosaur, large carnivore with small, large with small, large with small. So now we can put on this little island 3 big carnivores and add in other stuff and get no variety penalties, and everything's cool. So that's how you kind of handle the space. The other thing I forgot to mention was back before moving past this kind of initial setup right here, you have to kind of save up your money, get your ranger station in. I put it right here because there was a little bit of area back here. It's kind of away from where we're going to put the paddocks, and that was a good spot for it. And then put the ACU down here. They can fly everywhere, and it's not that big an island, so it works to have it here. And then you have to get that ACU going because you will get storms on this island, and the fences will come down. You will have animals out in your park. I don't care what you try to do to stop it. You will get that kind of thing, and you need the ACUs. So you definitely want to get that Ranger and ACU. And then basically this little space down here, I don't know how you feel about it, but the landscaping tool is just horrendous. I have a horrible time trying to do anything with this land to make it work the way I want it to. So basically this little configuration right here, if you start with the Expedition Center and the Fossil Center. If you put your ACU down here, tuck it down tight in the bottom, it leaves you enough space to put your research center in there. So you get all your key buildings right here. You get your 3 research and expedition buildings right here. Throw in the ACU, get your ranger up here, and this is just one way to do it. Of course, there are other places you could have done that. I have done Pena 5-star where I put the ranger station right down here. Kept this original setup, put the ranger station right next to it, built a bigger paddock back here. It worked just fine. But this particular one, I think I like better. There's just more space and more room. So there you have kind of a 5-star Pena. Main things to do: figure out how you want to handle this. You can keep it, that's fine. If you do, I would suggest maybe pumping out all your herbivores into this space right here, the original space, and then wrap around this way with bigger space. And you're probably going to have to cut off this the Hammond lab here, put pin around it so that you can use your ACU to transport over to this one, perhaps. That would be a way to do it. But I really like the gating system where I don't have to think about it so much. I don't have to work so hard to move my dinosaurs. So this one serving 3 paddocks worked very well, and allows you a lot of flexibility in how you set these guys up. So, and then down here you got the 2 paddocks. Remember your tank dinosaurs and your herbivores here that help you with that variety penalty. And then get your big ticket items, have enough space for some big ticket items, and work your way toward. Remember to get that research as early as you can so that you can get those diseases under control, and do your research for the diseases, the vaccines first, so that you've got those ready with the ranger station whenever a disease strikes. And other than that, you are good to go. One other comment too. I squeezed in a medium power station here, so now this area is actually producing 2, and then since the pathing was gone, it opened up just enough space to put another medium power station here, and I may even have overkill. Yeah, we've got some unused power, but you can get 3 medium power stations right along the initial entryway if you're careful with your setup. So all that works great. In fact, I could see probably be a good idea to have a storm protection right up here. One will fit. That would not be the worst idea anybody ever had. Yeah. Get storm protection for their power plants. That's a good idea. So anyway, there you go. There's a 5-star Pena, and you can see that with this kind of configuration, see the ratings we're getting 96, hundreds, 99. And I guess the one last thing I could talk about to get these closer to make all these 100 is go down here to this paddock, and instead of having this deal, take this out and then clean up this gating in here so that you can put a one of these, a viewing platform over here to go out this way, and then you can get 100% visibility on this paddock all the time. The way this is set up, and by the way, you'll notice there's nothing in there. I got the 5 stars without even creating a T-Rex, but the plan was to put a T-Rex into this paddock. And later on, I go ahead and play this, and sure enough, that's what I do is put a T-Rex in there. But but the visibility. The problem is, if we look at the visibility, this one, I hate how they do that. So this guy is looking out over to here, and this guy's looking over to here. So depending upon which side the dinosaurs are on, only one of these 2 galleries can see her. So basically, I cleaned this up and made this a straight line and put the tower here, and that way I got rid of that long walk. So I did 2 things. It made the transportation 100% because this was gone, and it made the visibility go up instead of, well, you can see it's very good now, it's 95%, but allowed me to put a dinosaur in there and keep that high rating. So basically, here's one that, with that change I just described, you've got high 90s for visibility and 100% on everything else. And there you go. There's a 5-star Pena. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it adds to your enjoyment of the game, and I hope you'll join us for our next Jurassic World Evolution video. Thank you.